Tyler made 23 starts for the Orioles last year, part of the great turnaround. Tyler, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we want to start by asking you about your manager, about Brandon Hyde, who, predates your tenure there. He's been there for a number of years. Things clicked last year to the level that not many of us saw coming. Talk about playing for Brandon and why you think he should get such strong consideration for Manager of the Year.
Where to start? I would like to say that the initial reaction is how much care he puts into the thought of the game, into the thought of his players. He cares about the environment that we're in each and every day, and I think that he does a really good job of communicating with us and talking to us about how our lives are going, but also like on the baseball side of things, he provides a lot of wisdom. And I think for us O's being such a young team, I think that provides a lot of benefit for the young guys to come in and feel pretty comfortable about playing for him and knowing that we can always go to him if we ever have a question or have any issues.
Hey, Tyler, it's Harold here. Good morning. Congratulations on a great season, man. Thanks for joining us. Hey, my question for you is, at one stretch, you guys really had a competitive run amongst your starting pitching, going deep in the game and really competing. It looked like you guys had a little personal competition going on. When did that start, and am I onto something, or am I making something up like I usually do?
No, you're definitely right on the money. There was a good stretch for a while where it was just one guy would put up a really good start, and then the next guy would try and go and beat it, and then it just kind of continued to end up being, continued to be a trend throughout the year. I definitely think that Jordan Lyles was a big part of that for us after John Means went down. Lyles really kind of stepped in to guide us young guys and show us that, it's not about how many strikeouts we have or how many games that we win. It's all about just making sure that we're going deep into games and being able to give our team a chance to win. And so I think that was a huge mental turning point for us young starters. So we took that, and, I think that you saw kind of as the year went on that it just kept getting better and better for us. And, we continued to try and better ourselves and continue to go deep into games and not walk each other. And we kind of took something from the Twins playbook with Joe Ryan talking about his foul ball. If he caught it, it's like, you got some money in there. We kind of did we did like a quality start with no walks. We talked about games, no hitters, immaculate innings. Things like that, striking out the side in order. So we just always made it a competition.
That's really fun stuff, man. I mean, you mentioned the Joe Ryan foul ball payoff and your background being drafted by the Twins and then being selected in the Rule 5 draft by the Orioles. The Orioles have had some pretty good success, and I've long contended, Tyler, that this is not a fluke. When you can build a roster the way the Orioles have with multiple channels, Rule 5 draft, waiver wire, free agent signings, of course the draft, you're involved in a pretty smart group of front office folks, and this is an impressive list. Were you aware of the company that you keep in terms of Rule 5 guys who've made an impact?
No, I was not, to be honest with you. I was aware of some of the guys that we had Rule 5 in the past, like Nestor and Santa, but the more I kind of thought about it, I never really understood it. I always paid attention to the Rule 5, but I never thought that I would be in it. And then, especially after COVID and being out in 2019 for Tommy John surgery, I never thought that I'd get an opportunity. I'm very happy and thankful and blessed for the opportunity that they gave me. And, I'm happy to be learning from the people that are within the organization.
Hey, I want to ask you about Adley Rutschman. When he came up, it looked like it turned the tide. But how quick did he catch on to all the things you do with the pitch comm, all the meetings and everything else to guide the pitchers through and be able to be a part of that instead of, a lot of times as a pitcher, you follow your catcher. But when you have a new catcher, it makes you overthink a little bit. How long till you guys really got on page with him?
I mean, it was pretty much instant for me, and I can speak for myself. I can't speak for the other guys, but as a clubhouse guy, I mean, he came in immediately and just kind of meshed with the guys. He's a very adaptable person, and he adapts really well with his environment. And, I think the first start that I had with him behind the plate was one of my better starts against the Yankees. And then my next outing was against the Red Sox. And I think I went 6 shutout. And it was it just always felt as if like me and him were on the same page. He would always sit there and talk to us. And then another thing that I think always built camaraderie between us pitchers and him was his little walk to the line, just kind of waiting for us to come off the field. Whether it was a good inning, a bad inning, it didn't matter. He was always there, and I think that really showed his support for us. And I think that just really continued to grow the relationship. And, to me, it's no surprise of what he did this year, just kind of knowing the kind of person that he is.
So I want to ask you this one because this is kind of an inside the team thing, and your pitchers like to talk without other people knowing about it. But I'm just curious, how many people go, hey, don't mess with Rougned. You saw that punch. How often do you guys ever talk about Rougned Odors and his ability to punch like he did that fight with Bautista? That ever joke around about that?
We joke about it when we go to Toronto, because every time he comes up, it's the entire stadium's booing. They never forget. And, it's so funny because he is one of those guys that, you would hate to have him on the other team, but you love to have him on your team. He's such a energetic person. He's such a good dude too. I think that's something that people probably totally miss out on, the fact that they think that he's just like this guy that wants to fight people. No, he's really like a class act dude, and he's so much fun to be around. We don't really talk about the punch that much. We mess around with him a little bit on it every once in a while when the time comes, but for the most part, we just focus on the fact that we're just happy to have him on our team.
Hey, I want to ask you one last question, Tyler, about pitching at home, and I want to do this a little self-servingly because Harold did not have a chance to visit Camden Yards in person this year to see the changes and how you pitchers just love facing right-handed power bats. It's an actual photo of the change at Camden Yards. Dude, of course, we're taking a creative liberty here. When you look at that in person, to move a wall back 30 feet and then double the height, I mean, it must be so empowering for a pitcher. I know why you're fearless with your changeup, because no one's going to pull it out there.
There is definitely a sense of peace whenever you're out on that mountain and you know that it's that far. Because on top of that, too, we have Austin Hayes out there, who was great the entire year, and that guy can cover so much ground. He's got a cannon for an arm. So being able to kind of just sit there and relax, knowing that most of the balls that are going to be out there are going to be caught, or at least hit out to the wall. I did give up a couple over that wall this year, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you'd rather give up a bomb than a wall scrape type of thing. They actually have to hit the ball out, and it's an impressive home run each time they do. So kudos to the hitters that were able to do it this year.
Hey, Tyler, we really appreciate the time. Nice getting a chance to meet you and visit with you. We wish you a lot of success moving forward. Enjoy the rest of your off season.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Tyler.